For anything to exist, a vision had to have been dreamt of. Someone, somewhere, doing something, had a dream of something better. Something that gave them the drive to create. Something that inspired them to be different. To take something ordinary and make it extraordinary. And the car in question today is a brilliant example of that. And it changed the motoring world ever since it debuted back in 1984.
This is a BMW M5, and believe it or not, the M5 was actually the first sedan to ever come out that was performance-based, that destroyed supercars way back in the years. So this is the brand new one, everyone, and this one is quite special. It's not the normal M5 F90, this is the competition version. So first things first, let's find out how fast it is, because this here, it's got all-wheel drive. So let's start off with a bit of launch control, shall we? Alright, so as we said, four-wheel drive, 460 kilowatt in the stock version, and let's see how it goes with no launch control or anything, flat. And that was easily 120 k's an hour. Luckily, we've got the grip to deal with all of that, and I mean it's an M5 at the end of the day, so proper speed, proper comfort, and proper fun.
Have you ever intentionally wanted to make your kids throw up? No? Okay, but let's say you did for some legitimate reason, like they ate a toy or something, because kids are silly like that and you needed to get it out of them. Well, the M5 has always been the perfect tool for that. 2 generations back, we had a big naturally aspirated V10 in the E60. Then the F10 was the model in which the turbochargers were introduced and the engine was downsized to a 4.4 litre bi-turbo V8. Now we get to the F90 M5, the fastest of all the fast blasts from the past. Yes, I might be a poet.
So as I said, in the regular M5 competition, 460 kilowatts and 750 Newton meters. So it's about 625 horsepower. In the competition, it's 25 horsepower more than the regular one, which is 600, although the newtons are the same. The competition is a little bit lighter also, 65 kgs lighter, and overall, it's a little bit sharper, a little bit more on the edge than the regular one.
Overall, the main differences between the regular F90 M5 and the competition version are stiffer engine mounts. It's about 65 kgs lighter also. It's 7mm lower, and it has more blacked out bits like the mirrors, the rear diffuser, the exhaust tips and badges also, different wheel designs, and a louder exhaust. Let's hear what that actually sounds like.
Yeah, no, I think it passes the test of sounding amazing, eh? Before I started reviewing this car, I've done lots of research. I've watched lots of other people's videos on this car to see what they pick up on faults, what they highlighted to say what's not great, what is great, and all that. And surprisingly, in almost every review I watched, they said that the ride in this car was a little bit compromised. It was a little bit choppy. But to be honest with you, I've driven this car for literally about 5 or 6 Ks, and to be honest, I've just been driving it in Sport Plus suspension, and it's really comfortable. It feels really supple, and I wouldn't be disappointed with it. Plus, this is the competition with the stiffer springs and everything, and it's great. It's comfortable as hell. I haven't even tried comfort because Sport Plus it's just great. It just does the job excellently. I drove the M850i in my previous review, and as soon as I got the opportunity to drive one of these, I said yes please immediately, because what surprised me the most about the M850i was the handling. Because for such a big car, It really handled like much a smaller car. You wouldn't think that it's so big and so heavy. And I mean, this car is big. It weighs just under 2 tons as well. But because of the new technology with the suspension and the anti-roll bars and all that deliciousness, it corners very flat. You get a little bit of understeer here and there because of the 4-wheel drive system, but that's about it. Steering is really excellent. It's a little bit light on the center, and once you get it a little bit further, it tightens up really nicely. And the 8-speed ZF box is excellent, as you can see. The older spec had the MDCT. Well, I say the older spec, it was the whole older shape, the F10 M5. And this one with the new ZF is nothing less than fantastic. And what's better about the ZF box is when you're cruising around normally, there's no jerkiness, there's no unsettlingness, it's just comfortable. It's just very smooth and very comfortable. That's the best thing about the M5, as they say. 2 personalities, very relaxed and comfortable, and an absolute hooligan if you wanted to.
Its levels of comfort and refinement are also at the highest level they've ever been. Yes, I keep going on about how good the ride is, but for a car with this type of performance and it being a full fat M car, one wouldn't expect this type of ride quality, and that impressed me a lot. The interior is also a lovely place to sit, and you've got tons and tons of luxuries to make your journey as relaxing as possible. It has superbly comfortable seats, an excellent infotainment system, ample rear passenger space, and you're reminded that you're in an M5 with a sporty gear lever and the M steering wheel with the 2 flashy red M buttons, which I quite like, to be honest.
This is one of the first reviews that every time I slow down, I didn't want to slow down because this car has got so much of grip and puts the power down so nice. It's so fast, but you can really use the power because it puts it down with all of the traction.
Overall, the M5 is a near perfect vehicle. Ridiculous performance, excellent comfort, and it's as practical as a Volvo. There's only 2 gripes that I have with the M5. The first isn't a very big deal. You can configure the steering, throttle response, suspension and gear change speed to your preference. But it's a bit of a faff to access it all. It isn't the most convenient. And the second is that the closer you push a car to perfection, the less of a soul it has. Flaws and mistakes make us human. We don't realize, but we're attracted to that in a weird way. And when a car becomes so close to perfect, it loses some of its soul, some of its character, and it feels a bit less human and a bit more detached. It's not difficult to fall in love with the M5, but it is difficult to find its heart.